Hi guys, welcome to Small Farmer Life. Hope you all have an awesome day. Now, if it looks a little bit dark, that's because I blew one of my ring lights up. I plugged it in, it just exploded, and it cost around about 150 quid. So I've got one light here, one light here, one light there, and two above me, and it's still not bright enough. So the ISO on the camera is really high. Hopefully, the picture quality is okay. But today, guys, we're going to talk about agricultural ties and conditions that planning departments put on any buildings that are built on agricultural land. And sometimes it can really affect the value of a property. Well, it does affect the value of the property and can also make you destroy buildings on your land that are in perfect condition, because for some reason planning departments all over the UK seem to have the last laugh. Even if your planning application is absolutely perfect, you've bought some land, you've started a business on that land, you've moved on that land, you're living in temporary accommodation, you've lived in temporary accommodation for 5 years, you can prove that there's a need to be on the land, you've proved that the business is successful, it's going to be successful moving forward, and now you put in a planning application to get a home built on that land. Well, councils like to put agricultural ties on homes built on agricultural land, as well as conditions. Conditions such as, if I stop farming on my land, the building I'm sat in now and a couple of other buildings, except for my stable block, have to be removed or demolished, should I say, even if they're in perfect condition, because farming activities have stopped. So the only building that could stay on the land if I wanted to stop farming activities is the actual stable block that I built. The rest of the buildings would have to be removed. So that would remove a lot of value from my land, because I built all of the buildings on the land and they're in good condition and are built to a good standard. So people would obviously pay more for the land if it come with a lot of buildings. But if they're not an agricultural worker or they're not into farming and they just want to buy the land to keep some horses on the land, well, the buildings have to go, and that's a condition they put in my planning application. They also put conditions, stupid conditions, like I can't have any external lights because that will cause light pollution and it'll affect the observatory, which closed down around about 8 years ago. So it's not going to affect that in any way, shape or form. But they also built 400 houses just across the railway, and I guarantee they don't have external light pollution on their properties, stopping them from having external lights on those houses. Now, this is another thing that really grinds me. If you've started a rural business and you're successful and you're going for a planning application to build a house on your land because you're allowed to do that, well, the council are going to stick an agricultural workers dwelling tie on that home. And what that does is that devalues your home by 30%. So let's say you had a property and you had 20 acres. And let's say you got older, your kids had moved out, so now you don't want to farm anymore because you're not able to farm or you're not capable of farming anymore, and you want to sell that property. And the property close by to you is more or less the same as yours, and that's got 20 acres as well, and that's selling for £1,000,000 or on the market for £1,000,000. Well, yours would only be able to be sold for around about 750 grand or £700,000. That's £300,000 less than the building or the home that's just down the road from you, which is worth £1,000,000, because yours has got an agricultural workers tie on that property. But the thing is, agricultural workers don't make enough money and certainly don't have 750 grand in cash to buy your property, and mortgage companies and banks will not give anybody a mortgage on a property that's got an agricultural workers tie on it. So it's a catch-22 system. Now, you can get agricultural ties removed from property. We're only after a lot of hard work, and your property has to be on the market for 12 months or so, had lots of offers that are under market value and nobody wants to buy it, that sort of thing. But even then, it's really hard to get that agricultural workers tie removed from that property. Now, why is this? Why is it that if, let's say, you want to pass on your property to your children, if you pass away and you write your will out and you leave the property to your kids, it still gets transferred with a rural workers tie on that property. So your children couldn't get £1,000,000 for that property like a similar property down the road. They would only be able to sell it to a rural worker because it's got a tie on that home. And another thing that bugs me is that development boundaries of towns expand all the time. Now, it depends on how fast a town is grown. So our town is growing really fast, and there's lots of houses being built, around about 3,000 in the last 5 years or so. And just across the railway, there was 400 houses built on agricultural land. And I guarantee, well, I know for a fact, that none of those houses have agricultural workers' ties on those houses, because they're built by a housing developer, and a housing developer is obviously not going to build houses on agricultural land if they come with ties that devalues them by 30% compared to other houses in the same area. It's just mind-boggling how planners and planning departments discriminate against rural workers or people who just want to work the land, make a living from the land, and literally do good in the community. Local food grown locally, sold locally, not imported from 2,000 miles away, sat in warehouses and sat in supermarket shelves for weeks before people get to eat it, and then all the nutrients have gone out of that food. It's absolutely crazy how they can put conditions and ties on rural workers' dwellings or farmhouses, whatever you want to call them. If you've worked really hard to start a business on agricultural land that you own, title absolute, your business is profitable, and you get the right and the planning permission passed to build a house on that land, your home should be valued at the same price as any other comparable home in the local area. It shouldn't be 30 or 25% below market value. And the fact that mortgage companies and banks won't lend people money to buy that property, because which rural worker has got 700 grand to buy a house with 20 acres? They just don't have that type of money, and they probably don't even have the deposit. I think this is absolutely shocking. This is why I started the channel. I want people to be able to live on their own land. I want them to be able to thrive on their own land. I want people to take care of the land. I want people to grow produce in the local area and sell it locally. I mean, when you taste a tomato that you've grown yourself, compared to a supermarket tomato, it just blows your taste buds away. And the fact that the government and local plan departments discriminate against people who want to start small holdings or small farms or any other form of rural enterprise is absolutely shocking to me, and it should be shocking to you, and it should be shocking to the general public who don't even know about this. Most people out there, the general public, don't understand how much farmers and small farmers are discriminated against compared to other people and businesses in the local community. Small farms get no help whatsoever from the government. Unless you're a massive farm, you can't get grants at all. It's not like in other countries where you can get a polytunnel grant to build a polytunnel or something like that. If you're a small farmer and you've only got a couple of acres, you've got no chance of getting any government funding whatsoever. They make you jump through so many hoops. There's so much red tape, and that's why I say go back, watch my videos. You'll find lots of useful information in those videos that'll help you on your journey, because there is ways and means to cut through that red tape and jump through those hoops. Now, if you really want to live on the land and you want to farm that land, then you should be able to do that. If you've built a business on some agricultural land and it's turning a profit, then you have the right to build a property on that land. And a property developer is not going to do that sort of thing. They're just going to put in a planning application to build a property on some agricultural land, versus somebody who's starting a rural business on some land, has lived in temporary accommodation and now wants to build a property on that land. Anyway, guys, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, and you should subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified of more upcoming videos, hit the bell button. Thanks to everyone, patrons, couldn't thank you guys enough, and YouTube members. Really appreciate the support. Till next time, guys, my name's Craig. You've been watching The Small Farmer Life. Make sure you take care of yourself. Most of all, take care of the family. Be genuine, guys. Bye for now. See you.